Stop scrolling for a moment because what just came out of the hip-hop world is honestly unbelievable. Remy Ma has finally spoken out, and what she revealed about her long-whispered cheating scandal involving Papoose caught absolutely everyone off guard. Fans are stunned, timelines are buzzing non-stop, and the truth she finally shared has shaken one of rap's most respected couples at their core. Tonight, we're digging into every emotional moment she described, every hidden detail that came to light, and every unexpected twist that had people glued to their screens. To understand how this all exploded, you have to go back to the period after Remy returned home from prison. The world watched her rebuild her career from scratch, steady herself again, and rise like the powerhouse she has always been. On the outside, she looked unstoppable, strong, focused, glowing, and ready to reclaim her place. But the reality behind the scenes was much harder than the polished photos suggested. People close to her say the non-stop pressure of fame, touring, interviews, and always being watched started weighing her down in ways she rarely admitted. Papoose, known for his loyalty and devotion, did everything he could to hold their world together. But even the strongest love can feel strained when two people are constantly running on empty. Fans remember the couple's sweet pictures, loving captions, and glowing red carpet moments. But beneath those posts were unspoken frustrations, long nights of stress, and emotional distance they didn't know how to talk about. Rumors started small, little jokes online, mysterious posts, lyrics that felt a bit too pointed. Nobody knew the full truth, but everyone sensed something was shifting. Remy, usually bold and unshakable, seemed different. The confidence was still there, but you could see a heaviness she couldn't hide forever. Behind closed doors, insiders say arguments became more common. Feelings went ignored. Silence grew louder. For months the internet tried to piece things together, reading between lines, comparing interviews, and watching their interactions like detectives. And then the rumor that broke everything hit the internet. Claims that Remy Ma was seeing someone else. The name tied to the story was Easy the Block Captain, and suddenly everyone had an opinion. The internet exploded within hours. Memes spread instantly. Bloggers released dramatic analyses. Comment sections turned into arguments. TikTok users made full timelines explaining the situation. Social media turned into a courtroom where millions of strangers acted like judges and experts. Through all of the noise, Remy stayed completely quiet. No hints. No petty responses. No cryptic messages. She didn't defend herself, didn't deny anything, didn't even address the gossip. Her silence made the story even bigger, and people came to their own conclusions. Many harsh, many unfair, and many purely based on guesses. Meanwhile, Papoose was praised for staying calm and private. To the public, he looked patient and graceful. But those close to him said the silence wasn't peace, it was pain. Everyone wanted to know why Remy, who had always preached loyalty and stood by her husband through everything, would make such a mistake. And then, after months of speculation, Remy finally spoke. In a raw, emotional interview, she opened up in a way nobody expected. Her voice shook, tears built up, and she admitted something that changed the entire conversation in seconds. She said the cheating wasn't about wanting someone else. It wasn't about disrespect. It wasn't about finding a better man. It was about something deeper. Years of emotional pain that she carried quietly while the world believed she was fine. Remy explained that she often felt trapped by her own image. People expected her to be strong all the time. They saw the fame, the music, the tough attitude. But they didn't see the loneliness, the pressure, or the emotional bruises that fame leaves behind. She said she felt unheard, like her feelings weren't taken seriously, even by the person she loved most. She loved Papoose deeply, but she felt like he didn't fully see what she was going through. Holding everything together for so long eventually created cracks she didn't know how to repair. During one especially intense argument, everything she had bottled up for years finally spilled over. She said it wasn't about wanting to hurt him. It was about feeling invisible and needing someone, anyone, to simply listen. She admitted that in a moment of weakness, she talked to someone who made her feel understood for the first time in a long while. That person, according to sources, was indeed Easy the Block Captain. But Remy insisted it wasn't love or romance. It was emotional survival. A temporary escape during a time when she felt lost within her own relationship. The internet reacted instantly. Some fans supported her, saying it took courage to admit something so painful. Others judged her, arguing emotional struggles didn't excuse betrayal. TikTok videos, memes, and debates filled every corner of social media. Then came the hardest part of her confession. Remy revealed that Papoose had found out long before the world did. He cried. He demanded clarity. He felt betrayed, confused, and heartbroken. And for the first time, the world understood that behind the perfect image were two people who had quietly been falling apart long before the rumors surfaced. Remy explained that this was one of the hardest moments she had ever lived through. Watching the man she loved break down in front of her, knowing that her actions had caused some of that pain, was almost unbearable. Her voice shook as she admitted, "You didn't fail me. I failed myself." That single sentence spread across the internet within minutes. After the interview aired, social media exploded all over again. Some people believed she was being honest and finally taking responsibility. Others insisted she was only trying to save her image. The debate turned into a storm of posts, reactions, and think pieces. Well-known artists dropped subtle comments online. Friends sent her love and support, and commentators on YouTube rushed to break down every second of her interview as if it were a movie scene. The biggest question everyone kept asking was simple. Does this mean Remy and Papoose are working things out? Or is this confession the beginning of the end? The couple had been a symbol of loyalty in hip-hop for more than 10 years, so fans desperately wanted to know what would come next. Insiders claimed that private conversations between the two have been happening quietly behind the scenes. Some reports described long emotional talks, raw honesty, and attempts to make sense of everything. But no one truly knows where those conversations are leading, and that uncertainty keeps the internet buzzing. Every post they share, every caption, every little update is studied for meaning, as if fans can somehow predict the future by reading between the lines. Remy's confession also opened the door to deeper conversations online. People began discussing emotional trauma, mental health in relationships, and the silent wounds that can grow when someone feels unseen or unheard. Professionals even joined in, explaining that betrayal doesn't always come from desire, but often from unaddressed pain, frustration, and emotional distance. This new perspective softened some people's judgment and made others rethink their assumptions. Still, there were plenty who believed cheating could never be excused no matter the circumstances. In many ways, Remy's vulnerability changed how fans saw her. She spoke openly about struggling with her feelings, fighting against her own walls, and trying to maintain a public image while privately falling apart. She admitted that what happened wasn't due to a lack of love for Papoose. Instead, it was a sign that she needed to deal with her own emotional battles, one she had ignored for far too long. Her honesty sent shockwaves through hip-hop culture. Bloggers quickly released deep-dive videos. YouTubers paused her interview frame by frame to study every expression. The internet replayed her emotional moments thousands of times. People argued endlessly about whether she should be forgiven, whether Papoose would stay, and whether the couple could rebuild after such a public wound. But beneath the chaos, one truth became clear. This situation wasn't just about a scandal. It was about two human beings trying to navigate love while being watched by millions. It was about the weight of fame, unresolved pain, and the consequences of letting emotions pile up until they spill over. What Remy shared reminded the world that even the most admired couples are not perfect. They experience heartbreak, miscommunication, and emotional pressure just like everyone else. Her confession changed the way people see both her and Papoose. Their love story, once viewed as unbreakable, now carries a more complicated mix of loyalty, hurt, honesty, and healing. As the noise slowly settles, one thing remains certain. Their relationship will never be seen in the same light again. Whether they choose reconciliation or decide to part ways, the public will be watching closely. Every move they make will be discussed, questioned, and interpreted. And so the questions linger. Can love survive after the world has already judged it? Can forgiveness rebuild what trust once held? Can two people rediscover each other after their private pain has been turned into a public spectacle? Or has this truth changed their relationship for good? What's happening now is bigger than gossip. It's a reminder of how fragile the human heart is, how heavy fame can feel, and how easily love can be tested under the spotlight. Remy Ma's confession has sparked conversations far beyond hip-hop, shining a light on the messy, emotional, complicated reality behind closed doors. Whatever happens next, This chapter will be remembered as a powerful turning point in their story.